Okay, so what if you got a second chance at life? I mean, not to right your wrongs or, become a better person, but to get the ultimate world-ending revenge on the people who destroyed you. Now, before we jump in, if you enjoy stories just like this one, please do me a huge favor and follow the channel and share this. It really genuinely helps this page grow and lets me bring more of these stories to you. All right, let's dive into a story where the apocalypse, well, that's just the beginning.
So this is how we meet our protagonist, Suchan, at the absolute end. In a world already torn apart by scarcity, he was just an ordinary guy. He spent 5 long, grueling years scavenging, fighting, all to protect the woman he loved, Zhao Can. And what was his reward? A betrayal so cold it could freeze hell over. She didn't just cheat on him. She stood there with this blank, indifferent look on her face while her new lover beat him to death. The very last thing he ever heard was her voice, just dripping with contempt, calling him useless, as his entire world just faded to black.
But that wasn't the end. Suchan is reborn. His eyes snap open and he's back. 1 month before the world he knew is set to burn to ash. And he has more than just memories of what's coming. He has this new, absolutely reality-breaking power. It's an infinite pocket dimension, a personal storage space where time itself is completely frozen. Think about it. He can hoard anything, from a single drop of water to an entire building, and it will stay perfectly preserved forever. The helpless man who died on that cold floor, he's gone. In his place is a predator, armed with perfect knowledge of the future and a burning hunger for vengeance.
And let me tell you, Suchan's revenge is not some messy crime of passion. Oh no. It is a meticulously crafted masterpiece of total destruction. It doesn't start with a gun or a knife. It starts with the quiet, devastating power of money. His very first move, he liquidates his entire life, sells his house for way less than it's worth because he doesn't want a check. He demands a mountain of cold, hard cash. And then, with that doomsday clock ticking down, he unleashes the real masterstroke of his financial warfare.
In a single afternoon, he turns the entire financial system against itself. He gets over 80 loan apps on his phone, and he just goes to town. He rocks up a staggering fortune of nearly $1 million, a debt he has absolutely no intention of ever repaying. Why would he? He holds a terrifying secret. In 1 month, the global economy, all of it, is going to be nothing more than a bad memory. He's not just borrowing money, he's looting a dying world, turning its last few moments of blissful ignorance into his own personal war chest for the end times. So, armed with all this cash he'll never pay back, Suchan goes on a shopping spree of truly biblical proportions. He's not buying sports cars and mansions. He's buying the very building blocks of a new world order. Entire warehouses full of food, they just vanish into his pocket dimension. Mountains of coal, enough to power a small city for years, gone without a trace. He even buys an entire ice factory, its whole frozen inventory now his personal property. And while the rest of the world is just going about its day, he is quietly, methodically stealing its entire future. Okay, so his kingdom of supplies is secure, but now his gaze turns to the one who truly broke him. For his ex-fiancée, Zhao, a quick death would be a mercy, and he is not feeling merciful. He has something far more exquisite in mind, a symphony of psychological torture designed to absolutely shatter her soul, just like she did to him.
He masterfully plays on her one true weakness, her insatiable greed. He weaves this web of lies so intoxicating she just can't resist. He orders a $10 million banquet, pretending he's some secret heir. He spends a fortune on ice, claiming it's for some grand charity. He dangles the illusion of a life of unbelievable luxury right in front of her, and she, totally blinded by dollar signs, becomes his willing slave. For an entire day, she works her fingers to the bone, her body aching, but her mind is just lost in fantasies of the lavish future she's about to have. And then, with his cruel, cold smile, he rips that fantasy to shreds. He reveals the truth. He's not a billionaire. He's a man drowning in debt. And she was nothing more than a pawn, free labor in his game of revenge. His first act of vengeance is complete. And as if on cue, the final grain of sand falls through the hourglass of the old world. That night, a blood-red moon hangs in the sky like this malevolent eye. And then the world is just consumed by fire. A wave of searing, incinerating heat scorches the planet, turning cities into ovens. The power grid screams for a second and then dies, plunging all of humanity into a new, terrifying dark age. The apocalypse isn't coming. It's here.
From the safety of his presidential suite, a fortress he chose with chilling foresight, Suchan just watches the world burn. Below him, the fancy, gilded cage of the Green City Hotel transforms into a living hell. As you can see, civilization, it's a paper-thin veneer. It got stripped away in minutes. The rich, the powerful, all trapped and terrified, they just revert to their most primal instincts. All their wealth, their status, it's all meaningless now. It's just trinkets in a new world where a bottle of water is the only currency that matters.
And this is the masterpiece of his revenge. As the hotel becomes a sweltering tomb, its inhabitants going mad from the heat, their skin literally blistering and cracking, Xiao Qin and her lover are on their hands and knees, fighting like rabid animals over the scummy, dirty water and a decorative fish tank. But above them, in his own climate-controlled paradise, Suchan is floating in his private pool, the water perfectly cool against his skin, surrounded by shimmering blocks of pure ice. He's dining on gourmet steaks, a king in his castle, while the architects of his demise suffer in a literal hell that he, in a way, created for them.
You see, the real takeaway here is that Suchan didn't just outlast the apocalypse, he conquered it. He didn't just survive, he thrived. He bent the very end of the world to his will. He became something like a god in a world of mortals, the undisputed king of the apocalypse. But you have to wonder, as he sits on his throne of ice and vengeance, in a world with no more rules, what does it even mean to be a king?
I guess in a world that's suddenly teeming with monsters, the most terrifying creature isn't some beast with claws and fangs. It's a man with a plan. This whole story is just a chilling reminder that real power isn't about brute force. It's about the cold, calculating precision of a mind that is absolutely bent on revenge. If this story moved you or just made you think a little differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And make sure to follow the channel for more stories just like this.